This version of It's Erik Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
A message for the ladies and gentlemen around the world and all the ships at sea.
We all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us.
So choose wisely. Subscribe to It's Erik Nagel wherever shows are found, on whatever platform you choose. And as always, leave us a positive review. Would you kindly?
Y'all tired of eating that barbecue from up the street? Where they give you more sauce than they give you meat? Well, bring your big ass down to Bruh's Barbecue, 15837 South Crenshaw Boulevard. That's right off Manchester. Bruh's Barbecue tastes so good, make you want to slap your mama. Don't it, Willie?
Yeah, boy. Hey, mama.
What the hell you want with?
Ain't but one location, so it's near as you.
It's Erik Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear.
Erik Nagel.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of It's Erik Nagel. That is myself, sitting right there in front of me. That would be Gittles. Hi, Gittles.
Hi, Erik.
And that would be the lovely Zia. Hello, Zia.
Hello, Erik.
Phone
Hi,
lines.
Waved
Zia.
again.
Yes.
Hi, Gittles. I keep waving.
I'm waving now.
It's all good. Phone lines open, 651-SMITHERS. That's 651-764-8437. Follow us online. The social media inputs available, all those places. It's Erik Nagel across the board. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Those are the best ways you can help out the program. Also by telling two friends, so they can tell two friends, etc. That's how it goes. Everybody, it is Halloween time. It's been Halloween time for so long. When you're hearing this show, it'll be exactly right after Halloween. But that doesn't even matter because Halloween has been celebrated for the last 2 weeks before Halloween even got here. The previous 2 Saturdays is when everyone had their Halloween parties. And it's weird because Halloween is on a Thursday, so it's not like you could push it up to a Friday and then do it that weekend, because after the holiday doesn't make any sense. But if it was a Monday, you can extend the weekend, do it that way. But it's on a Thursday, so everybody just did it on Saturday before that, and then the Saturday before that. It's almost Christmas-like. We're all in December. Everyone's having their holiday parties for the entire month.
I think we should... Oh,
no,
sorry,
go for it. No, go for it.
I was just going to say, I think we should make October the Halloween month. It really should just be a whole month of Halloween. That's when it starts. Everybody starts decorating on October 1st and just dress up for the whole month. I'm down for that. Let's do that.
I mean, Halloween in New York is basically the entire month of October. It's like the only other holiday that's bigger here is Christmas. And people are more miserable during Christmas. Like Halloween, everyone's happy because everyone gets dressed in costumes. They go around, they go to parties, they have a good time. I love it. It's my favorite time of year.
Well, in New York too, down in the Village, if you've never been, and I've been very vocal. I'm not one for parades. I'm not one for public demonstrations of anything that involves affecting traffic or street closures or what have you. But if you go down to the Village for Halloween, they do an amazing job for the Halloween parade that takes place down there. It's like, it's not even...
It's crazy.
It feels like it's not even part of New York City. Like it's New Orleans Mardi Gras level craziness going on for the Halloween party.
And like the costumes that people make for it are just insane. Like just gigantic, huge pieces. Like you always see it on the news every year. But then people dressed as skeletons as marching bands and stuff. Like they really do it all out. It's great.
And that down in the Village area too. It's a very artsy community, right? So you got fashion people, you got all kinds of creative people, artist people, all these people putting their best foot forward for all of this stuff. They're making parade floats, they're making big murals, and they're making creations that sit outside on the streets in front of businesses. This isn't just like a kid party where they're making, taking crafter plast and putting nonsense. It's like sort of looks like a witch. It might be a candy corn. I don't know. But they go out there and there's statues and there's paper mache and there's just things everywhere. Confetti. It's like taking Christmas, New Year's with the celebration when at midnight when it hits, and Mardi Gras, and throwing it all together and putting it into one particular event in this specific area of the city. It is a lot of fun. I won't go down there again, but I was down there one year and I saw it and it was a madhouse. Businesses are open.
It's always a mess. Like, it's great to be there, but like trying to get around, like the certain streets are blocked. You have to walk like 10 blocks up and around to get anywhere. And
it's not even traffic. It's traffic for cars. It's traffic for foot traffic. You can't walk down a street.
Yeah,
That's
for foot traffic. And the thing is, like, the village where it is, the sidewalks are very narrow. They're not big like they are in Midtown. So the people, you're just cramped. Like, you really can't move. But everyone's in full costumes. As long as you don't get stuck next to someone with 15-foot devil, wings on the back, you're good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where you probably have to just be super hammered because then you don't mind so much. Like everybody, I mean, I'm assuming people get pretty drunk at that thing.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like,
Drugs,
like then you're just
drinking, miscellaneous.
Yeah. What is the miscellaneous? What's after drugs and drinking?
Sugar high.
That's what I'm on.
They're breaking into those gourmet cupcake places at, after midnight.
Magnolia.
Yeah, because they got the munchies.
They got the buttercream. Get the buttercream.
Molly's Cupcakes down there.
Oh, you're selling me out. I'm with you, Eric. I hate parades. I hate them. I hate the traffic. I hate everything about parades. But you're actually kind of selling me on this. I'd probably go to one.
The
Halloween parade's the only one worth going to.
I would say that
not
would
really
be
like a parade. It feels like you're at, like one of the Disney parades. You know what I mean? Because everyone is just having a good time. People on the sidewalk are just having a good time. It's not like a normal parade where everyone's like, oh, let's just watch this.
I would say that is 100% correct. Everything else is just, and they always do it on a Sunday too in New York. Every kind of parade, marathon, all that stuff is always on a Sunday. And it's, even though, because it's their way of doing it where it won't congest the city so much that it affects business being done in the city, but you might as well just do it on any other day because it does get that bad with the roads, the streets, the bridges, the subways. Everything is a mess. Out of all of that, Gittles is 100% right. Some people who would come to New York for tours, like, I want to be there for Christmas, or I want to see the Christmas, the Thanksgiving for the floats that are going down 6th Avenue by Macy's, or I want to be there for New Year's. How incredible. All of that is garbage. It looks good on TV, but that's it. You don't want to go and be there. The Halloween thing is the one exception that you would go down at least once in your life to go and check it out.
I've heard that on New Year's when they do that big Times Square thing that they make you stand there for like 12 or 13 hours.
8 hours.
And that 8 hours, and that people wear diapers in order to do that.
They do. Pretty much what it is that the NYPD and the traffic department, they all come in there, they clean everything up, and they line everything up with the barricades. And it's not like you can move certain barricades. They're essentially penning you in like an animal. And there's sections. So that's like, all right, this pen can fit 400 people. And then when that's there, they close it off and have somebody on guard for the pen there. Then they have, because they got to keep certain pathways open for emergency vehicles or performers that are going to be on the stages for Fox, ABC, whatever's going on out there. They got to have certain routes to move people around. Now, they set all this up. Then when the people come in, they open those areas of Times Square so that you can wait online to get into a pen. And then when you're in the pen, you have to stay there until the ball drops. And then like 12:05, 12:10 or something like that, they open up the pen so that everyone can leave.
It's a nightmare.
That does not sound fun at all.
It's not.
Or worth it.
I don't know why anybody goes and does this, but people every year since the beginning of television, pretty much, that has been an event that has been televised of New Year's Eve with the ball dropping in Times Square.
Well, also, it's freaking freezing. You're just sitting there
not all the
out
time.
In the cold and the snow. Really? Is it sometimes not that cold?
There were times, and I'll even say back in the day, maybe even before us, where they would show you, like back in 1963, it was -4 and people were out here. But in the last several years, it's been rather warm.
There was like 1 year in the last like 5 years where it was actually like really cold, and it was like a couple of degrees above zero.
Oh,
I remember it was a big deal, but everyone still showed up.
Yeah.
They all showed up.
And for your earlier comment, yes, there are people, and they always talk to people, and it's never the national feeds that talk to these people. It's the local news in New York that goes and talks to the people, and they find the people who are wearing the diapers, who have the large containers so they can pee in them.
The hidden flasks.
Yeah, because
they get drunk.
The local businesses will not let you in to use the bathroom if you're out there waiting unless you're a patron. Like, of
course not. I mean, that's understandable.
Well, But look at Starbucks. They got in trouble for, not letting people just go in there, especially when they weren't buying anything. But now in New York, in Times Square, it's you buy food or you're going to eat at this restaurant, or you buy something from the store, and then we'll let you use the restroom. Otherwise, even the hotels that are there don't allow you.
Years, I think like the Starbucks would be like, yo, we can't have, because it's so many people. It's not just like a normal day, people coming in to use the bathroom.
Right.
It's like there's thousands of people there. And if one person goes in to use the bathroom, they're like, yeah, that diner let me go. Then everyone's going to start going there.
Right. Yeah, it's not a fun experience. I've never done it, never want to do it. But I've had people. No, that's too many negatives. I had people. I've had people in my past that wanted to go there because my old office was right above everything. At Sirius, we were right there in Times Square. The front of the building faced 6th Avenue, the Avenue Americas, we were in Rockefeller Center. The back part of the building was right there on 7th Avenue, where Broadway and 7th were converging, and then on the other side of where the X goes with the roads is the New York Times building that has the ball, and you could see it from like all year long. You could see the ball just sitting there spinning.
Yeah, it's just there.
Yeah, from the office. So people always wanted to go up to. It's like, oh, we should go up to your office. Let's go to Sirius and one. Okay, that does sound good if you were sitting there and Gittles knows the layout. Where our studio was, there was another studio behind us, and then it was just all the outer wall was just windows. Mm-hmm. So if we went back to where our studio was there, went behind that was the whole wall of windows where you would see everything. And granted, yes, it's an impressive and amazing view, but you're sitting there waiting forever for this ball to drop, and then you watch the ball drop. Then you have to leave that building and try to fight through everybody to try to get home. Why is
not worth it?
Yeah, so when I've had family and friends say, "Oh, let's go and sit," I was like, no, absolutely not. There's no point in being there or anywhere near there. Watching it on TV
and the
isn't
view's
even that
not
great
that
anymore.
Great either. Like the view isn't that great from the Sirius office, and for like everyone to see from like that window, you'd have to really kind of crowd around,
From the office itself, you could see it, but I know what you're saying. If you go to that corner in the back by our old studio where the two walls are, and it's just all windows, you could see everything. You see straight down 7th Avenue and Broadway, right to the other triangle piece, and that's where the Times Square building is, and that's where the thing comes down.
See, I never even really, I think I don't, like, I'm trying to remember from my childhood and up until I moved away from Hawaii if we ever watched the ball drop, and I don't think we ever did. I don't think I ever did that until I met my husband, because he's from New York, and he's like, yeah, this is what people do every year, and I was like, really? I didn't know this was a thing. Because in Hawaii, it's not really a thing. It's New Year's, everybody just gets super wasted.
And they watch the volcano blow up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Just waiting
then you run.
At midnight in New York, they play Auld Lang Syne, followed immediately by Frank Sinatra's version of New York, New York. In Hawaii, the volcano explodes and they play Jimmy Buffett's Volcano.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you throw someone in the volcano at midnight? Just like, woo, for good luck?
Virgin sacrifice.
We sacrifice a virgin. Exactly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much how most people stay safe every year. Otherwise.
And, thankfully, that's why Zia is still with us to this day.
Exactly.
She didn't qualify.
I've never been a virgin.
Yep. So anyway, Halloween being celebrated all month. Yeah, it has really grown. And I think I've changed my mind on the fact that a lot of people were petitioning in certain areas to make Halloween officially the last Saturday of the month, to do all of this stuff instead of the actual date that it was for the 31st. I'm starting to see that having everything on that last Saturday before the month is over really seems to help organize and keep things together by doing it on a weekend. So, if you go out and get messed up, or if the areas are messed up, they have time to clean it up before Monday even comes around again.
Yeah,
that's
true.
That's
kind of like why people have their parties like the weekend before, because you don't want to have it after.
Because everybody's
it's kind of like Price is Right. It's like the closest to Halloween without going over.
Yeah,
like so it's always like
Oh, the pumpkin went over the edge. I lost.
Because like I was invited to a Halloween party, but it's like this coming Saturday, November 2nd, and it just feels weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our Christmas party's on the 27th this year. Nope, not happening.
Wait, no,
it doesn't work. But Christmas is on a Thursday. That's your problem.
Well, but also people get time off for Christmas is a little bit different, because typically people aren't, unless you work like me in the service industry, you're going to work. But for most people, you get at least that week off or like that weekend. Like you're not working Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or the day after, and then it goes into the weekend. So it's like not that big of a deal, but Halloween's not a real holiday.
What?
Like that.
Halloween is the only holiday.
Halloween though is different from, I mean, Christmas. Take the religious aspect out of it, right? Because obviously religious holiday, but it's mixed with a pagan ritual of stuff, so it's a cross-pollination of stuff. Take those aside. Halloween is more of a communal holiday that you do with your friends, you do with your neighbors, you do it with people that you don't even know at parties and trick-or-treating and what have you. Yeah. Christmas, for as much as it's celebrated, the day, like the night of and the night before and the day of, is more of a private holiday celebration. It's not like you have a couple of friends, maybe. It's always your family involved with that. You're not having a big party where you're just inviting people on Christmas Day. It doesn't work out like that. Halloween is the opposite of that. It's celebrated the opposite way. So I think it's great. I think for having a communal holiday like that, I'm starting to see the notion of having it on the Saturday before, because then you could start. Look, people don't want to fucking work anymore as it is. Sorry, I shouldn't curse, but people don't want to work anymore as it is. And so people just don't. Like, you go to a store and there's a million people and like, nobody works during the day. What's going on here? So they'll take that Friday off. If Halloween's a weekend holiday, you'll have people take that Friday off. They'll have Friday and Saturday to party, Sunday maybe too, or Sunday at least to recover, and then back to work on Monday. And it doesn't affect everything else that's going on, school, work, etc.
So basically, you're saying that Halloween should be a national holiday like Thanksgiving, where it's on the same day every year.
I think so. I'm starting to lean towards it.
I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree.
Because I mean, it pretty much does that anyway. Like that, like what we were saying. Like it usually works out that way. Just make it official.
But it's got to be one of those locked-in holidays. Because Christmas is not a locked-in holiday. New Year's is not a locked-in holiday. It's based on the date, but it's not based on the day. Thanksgiving is always the last Thursday before the end of November. President's Day is always that, what was it, second or third Monday of February? We're on there where they combined Lincoln and Washington's birthdays to give you President's Day. Memorial Day is always locked into a Monday. You know, certain holidays are locked in by day, others are follow the date around. So I think Halloween should be locked in as the last Saturday.
Because people are still going to do things on Halloween. You know what I mean? Like if people are still not going to not do things.
Right. But it kind of lightens the load too. Instead of everything going on a Thursday where everything's going nuts, then, you know, doing it on a Saturday, you've got enough time to ramp into it and then, you know, recover after.
Okay.
I feel like
Oh no, go for it.
I was just going to say, I feel like even when it's on a Thursday, nobody's going to go to work on Friday. Everybody's going to get hammered on Thursday. Friday is going to either be you're not going to work or like a very half, like I'm just going in because I have to, like messed up work day. And then you have Saturday, Sunday to recover. But Saturday, Sunday, you're right. You're not going to have any Halloween parties then because it's super weird. So it's really just like a hangout day, I guess.
So now are you suggesting also on this set
or two parts? Saturday can be the big Halloween party stuff for adults, for people, for kids, for everybody. But then on Thursday, it's still just you leave it. It breaks it down a little bit, and Thursday can be the kid version of it,
like trick or treating,
of just for trick or treating.
Yeah, can I still trick or treat as an adult?
You can.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
Yep. Just put on
here's the thing, like,
put on a shirt that says "man-child" and you'll be fine.
Oh, great.
Here's the thing, though. If you're making it like an official holiday, I feel like everyone's going to want to trick or treat on that holiday also. You know what I mean? If you do it the last Saturday, I think people are going to be inclined to try and trick or treat on that Saturday also. Be like, this is the Halloween weekend.
If we make it a national holiday, then yeah, trick or treating happens on that day. The parties happen on that day. Everything happens on that day.
But that's a problem, because if people want to trick or treat, those same people want to go to parties who are giving out the candy to trick-or-treaters.
Okay, here's what we do. Here's what we do. Just like Christmas Eve and Christmas, Halloween, Friday is All Hallows Eve. So Friday is when kids leave school early or don't go at all. People aren't going to work anyway. That's where you do your trick-or-treating. And then Saturday is the party.
I like this. We fixed it. You fixed it. You fixed Halloween. There you go.
All right.
There we go.
Who do we write to make this happen?
The calendar people.
I think
just whoever makes your calendar. Mine is Far Side Polo Page Day. I would say, email them
make those?
and tell them. Yeah,
they still make current day Far Side calendars. For years, I had Far Side the Polo Page calendars like Gittles had, and then on the wall, I had a Simpsons calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you'd have the good like Polo Page ones you'd keep and put them on the wall.
Yeah, because they were full of lulls. I think also we need to involve Congress with it because I think they make official holidays as well. So I can petition.
Do they really?
I'll send a nice little email to AOC and say, hey, I know you've got all this other nonsense going on, but hear me out on Halloween.
She's like, they'd be like, this is the real important stuff. All the other stuff you're working on, less important.
Yeah,
let's focus
You're
on this.
not doing much anyway, so might as well throw this into the mix. If you want to get some headlines, let's start pitching for Halloween as a national holiday.
Agreed.
Totally down.
All right.
I think it would pass, at least on the coasts.
Yep. I don't think anybody, see them being any kind of political objection to it. Like, I don't see it having problems down the line. I mean, the religious people hate it anyway. If they're super religious, they don't like Halloween to begin with. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They're vocal.
But they're always the loudest.
Yeah, they're vocal, but they're such a minority in numbers that you can kind of just go, okay, well, we didn't listen to you about that in Harry Potter anyway, so we're moving on here. Look, you got Easter. What else do you want from us?
They also have Christmas. They have their holidays. They're fine.
Sort of. Christmas can be a two-sided holiday, though.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I was raised very the opposite of religious. Like, literally as bad as anti-religious as you can get.
Like cannibal with the big pots?
Yeah.
Okay.
We just ate people.
Ooh. Yeah, people that got their ships would strand on the islands of Hawaii. They would cook them and eat them.
Yeah, we'd eat their hearts. Nice. Gain all the mana. That means power.
I know. Speaking of mana, did you see the Rock announced his new tequila company?
No, did he really?
So on his Instagram, he has this new tequila company.
Can you smell what the Rock's been drinking?
That's exactly kind of where he's going with it. So he's been teasing for a while on his Instagram stories that he loves tequila and he drinks it on his cheat days, right? So cheat days and apparently when he's doing boardroom business, because every time he's in a boardroom with his, wearing the suit but without the jacket and tie look, he always has a glass of tequila sitting on the table while they're conducting business. And look, it's working for him because he's making billions of dollars. But he loved it so much that he wanted to start his own thing. And look, at this point, there are so many vineyards, distilleries, breweries, any kind of alcohol that you may love. There's no uniqueness in it really anymore because everyone makes their own version.
Some celebrity has their own version of it. They've thrown their name on.
Right. So The Rock opened up this new place called Termana Tequila.
Termana?
Yeah. Or is it Terramana? T-E-R-E, I guess. Terramana Tequila. Terra means is meant to represent Terra, T-E-R-R-E, which means of the earth, and mana is our powerful Polynesian spirit that guides us. Spirit of the earth for his brand new tequila. Our goal is to create a tequila that is the best of quality and taste, but done the right way by hand. Small batches only, handcrafted tequila from our Terramana Blue Agave? A-G-A-V-E?
Agave, yeah.
Right.
Like a sweetener.
Maturing in the highlands of is it Jalisco? Jalisco?
I don't know.
I don't know where that is.
I've actually never heard of that place.
For everyone to enjoy. After years of hard work, the blessing is truly a dream that's coming true, but it's just the beginning and there's so much work to be done. I'm committed with my team to bring you the best tequila because quality and legacy are what matters most. From all of us at the distillery Termana, we invite you to come have a drink. The tequila of the people.
The tequila of the people, huh?
Yeah.
The people's tequila?
Yep.
Like the people's elbow?
So he has this big distillery and everything that he has. Look, it looks like he's got like 200 people at least working at this thing because they're all out there dressed in this blue shirt for the place, and the Rock's right in front of them in the blue shirt. They're all holding up tequila. Everyone's having a good time apparently, but it's of the mana of your people.
Yeah, mana means power. And people, when you play video games here and stuff, people call it mana, and that's always really weirded me out because I'm like, what the hell is mana? because it's supposed to be pronounced mana. And I'm assuming mana is power because that's usually what's associated with mages and warlocks and stuff like that.
That's usually your energy level is your mana.
Yeah. But I was like, what the hell is a mana? Because I feel like that's like some random person from Wisconsin was like, yeah, mana. And
mana, mana, potato, patata.
What was I going to say? Oh, do you guys remember Crystal Skull? Was it vodka, I think? Dan Aykroyd's
Dan
vodka?
Aykroyd's, yeah.
Right. I have one of the bottles over here somewhere.
Do you really?
Yeah, we had him on the show, the old show, back at Sirius, and he came in to talk. It was right as they were starting work on the new Ghostbusters. And he came in and he was promoting his Crystal Skull tequila. And he came in, he had a box of the stuff, and then he wound up sending boxes to everybody. So I didn't care for the vodka. Not saying that it was bad. I just didn't want to drink it, so I let other people drink it. I just kind of want to fill it. I want to do that old 90s college thing where I want to fill it with water and then drop the highlighter stick in there and let it take it out so that it works with the black light.
You're so dumb, Eric. You fill it with fake blood. You don't fill it with highlighters.
You guys are both dumb. You fill it with syrup for your pancakes. Yeah, just a giant Crystal Skull full of syrup, or you could just drink it.
My pancakes taste like the blood of the non-believers.
Yeah, like this Mrs. Butterworth's got dark.
Pun.
Yeah.
So, actually, I wanted to talk about the mana. I never knew of that term until there was a Super Nintendo game called the Secret of Mana.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the first time I ever heard of that word.
I mean, I assume I understand why people would have never heard of it because it's Hawaiian and who the hell's going there learning random words like that. But like it's one of those things.
Few.
Yeah, I guess so. Me and my best friend in high school we were such idiots. We always used to yell, "Oh, too much mana!" when we like did something that like knocked something over and just acted like, "Oh, it's because we were too powerful." And it was a saying that stuck with us until we were well into our adult life.
So it's your equivalent of us saying roid rage.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Too much mana, dude. Roid rage. Calm down. You don't need to do 100 on the side streets.
Chill the out.
So speaking of video games with Secret of Mana there, we've been talking and we noticed that we've all gotten back into a video game kick again. And it comes and goes. Sometimes we're playing games for a long time and then other times we just kind of fall out of it because we're doing other things. But we've all been getting back into the gaming, and we've documented so far that Zia she went from the Minecraft obsession to World of Warcraft Classic once that came back out. And apparently you're still addicted to it.
Oh, yeah, it's not going anywhere. I play as much as I possibly can with as busy as I am.
Nice.
But I started leveling up another character. So my first character was a human rogue alliance, obviously. And then my second character... Obviously.
Apparently, yes.
Well, by the way, those freaking horde kind of suck because it seems like I don't know.
Whores with an S.
Those whores. They just gank the crap out of you. It freaking sucks. Like every time we try to go into Stranglethorn Vale to do any quest, and it's taken us like a week to get through these quests because we keep getting ganked by the horde. And it's crappy because they're always like, I don't know, level 60 attacking level 30 players or level 20 players. And it's like, dude, you're not tough. Of course you're going to win. I don't know. It's just like, I don't know if I wouldn't, if I was a horde member or even not, when we go into their like lower level area, I'm not going to attack a level 20 player because that's stupid.
I should find out if I'm on the same server as my friends because they're all like super high level and they can just like level you up, just like run you through.
That would be great. So I can go attack the horde for being a-holes.
I remember talking with Matt and Kevin back in the day about these MMO games and RPG games and what have you. Is this one of those games where you're just, if like Gittles said, his friends are pretty high leveled up, where you're just around certain people and because they've completed some task and you're in their group or whatever, all of a sudden you just start getting all of this shit thrown at you, and then like all of a sudden you're leveling up money like crazy just because you're associated with these people?
Well, you do things in parties because a lot of stuff you can't go do by yourself. You're just going to die immediately, especially when you go into dungeons and stuff like that. But you can't, I guess you could if they were on a quest.
Warcraft,
you could go.
Baby, you're going to die.
Exactly. Get in my body bag.
There is actually, I think, a a quest called Welcome to the Jungle in Stranglethorn Vale.
Of course there should be.
I'm pretty sure there is one, if I remember correctly. And I sang that song in my head. Oh my God, it's such a nightmare. Have you played it, Gittles?
No, I have not.
Oh, Stranglethorn. I hate that area. I hate it so much. It's such fucking nightmare. But yeah, typically, like, I guess you could, because you would get even if they're on a quest that you're not on, but you're in their party, you do get the experience points and like a share of the loot. So whatever they pick up, you do get the money. But you wouldn't, like, I would rather do it like you go in a party where everyone is on that quest, unless, like Gittles said with his friends, you have a higher level running you through. And then
that's what me and my friends do with Diablo 3, which is the same people.
Nice.
And we'll just run through. My friend will be like 100 levels above me, and I'm just watching my levels go because we're just doing things at such higher difficulty that the XP I'm gaining is ridiculous just for being in the party.
Right. And you're just getting like 300 XP when you're, level
By
20
yourself.
or whatever. Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
Maybe I should do that. I've just been like slowly slogging away and leveling up like one level a night.
No, you gotta like group up with some like high level people and just power grind that way.
Smart. I'm gonna have to do that so I can go kill some Horde. I'm on a vendetta now. They piss me off so much that all I want to do is kill Horde. I want to get to a high level so I can go there and mess them up.
Nice. It's a great origin story. I just need to get to the higher level, then I killed them.
So that's pretty much consumed your life now. So if you're not working or doing your other projects, that laptop goes on and you're gone for the rest of the night.
Yeah, and I am absolutely going to start streaming that too, because if I'm playing it, I may as well be streaming it.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Get some followers.
Exactly.
Nice. Why not?
Thank you.
Gittles, what have you been playing?
I downloaded the Xbox Game Pass because they had a promotion where it was only $1 a month for the first month, because the game The Outer Worlds came out and I really wanted to play it because it's by Obsidian, who made Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas rather, and that was a really fun game. And it's very similar. It's kind of like Fallout in space, and it's a lot of fun. The character creation, the way you can customize things is great. The worlds are fun. The characters are cool. Highly recommend it if you are into open world exploration games where you have to do like crazy missions and you want to like just blow shit up. It's a lot of fun.
I've heard literally nothing but good things about that game, and I kind of want to watch someone stream it, but I also don't want to ruin it because I want to play it.
Yeah, you don't want to like really watch someone stream because you're going to see all the missions and like the choices, because there's like hard choices you have to make. Like some of the choices in the very beginning of the game they're pretty tough, and I made one of the choices, and then I went to tell the guy that I made the choice, and then he was just like, screw you. And then I was like, whatever. So I killed him, and then some guards came after me, and then I killed them, and then I was trying to leave, and then everyone was trying to attack me. I was like, well, screw this. I'm just going to kill everybody. So I just ran around town just like kind of killing everybody. And I can't go back to Edgewater already. And I'm 2 hours into the game.
I like the slug line on the website looking at this, right? And it says, The Outer Worlds available. And for those of you who might want to check this out, you can see the trailer online or the website, but it's available on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC as well.
Yep.
So the slug line on there says, welcome to the future. Try not to break it.
Yep.
And Gittles already broke it.
Yeah, well, and it sucked too because I came upstairs and like everyone was shooting at me, and I was just, I was killing the guards, and then I didn't realize that I killed like the main constable in town. I was like, oh crap, probably shouldn't have done that. And then I just kept killing, and then I had to get out of there because they were trying to kill me, because the more people I killed, the angrier they got for some reason. So then I'm just trying to run to get to my stupid ship so I could leave. And then, I left, and now my reputation around Edgewater is kill on sight.
Yeah, so you can't go back there. That sucks that it's not like Skyrim where you can just pay a fine or like go to jail and then you get out and you're okay. You can keep playing. They're like, no, we're going to kill you.
Yeah, I don't know how long that reputation's going to last there. The people outside the town who didn't like the city treat me like a king, though. They love me. Like, my reputation there is they're like, anything you'd like, sir? And I'm like, I just show up, I'm like, hey, how's it going? And they're like, here's a turkey. I'm like, thank you.
Wouldn't that be cool if it was like that in real life. People like you and you just show up and they're like, here's a turkey. Is it? Tell me where to go to get that.
It's not like that at all.
I want a turkey.
Well, yeah, everybody wants a turkey, but it's like going to a major city and then you kill the leader, the mayor, whoever's in the city, but then the surrounding suburbs and the state goes, we hated that place.
Yeah.
You're welcome to eat and dine here anytime you want, and we have free lodging.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. But the game is super fun. I just got my spaceship up and running, and I got to space, and there's tons of planets and moons and space stations to explore, so I'm looking forward to it. It's a lot of fun.
How open world is this?
It's like each planet, from what I understand, it's not like the whole planet is open world. There's like sections you can go to, but it's still really big areas.
So you have some areas you can explore on your own and do what you want, but it's all under the bigger picture of a story.
Yes.
Okay.
That you're doing in missions, and anyone you talk to, you never know. Like, you can talk to someone and have a conversation, and then through a choice, they'll a random side quest will come up, and then you go do their side quest, and you get prizes or rewards and stuff. The dialogue system is really good. The way you talk to your characters and the way you can do your companion system, because you pick up people along the way that will like help you out, and you get to control them too. And it's just really fun because you have lies and perception checks, kind of like Dungeons and Dragons. So people will be like, you can't go in here, and you can be intimidate, like, no, this is where I'm supposed to be. You get out of the way, and hopefully it'll work. And they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. And if not, you might have to fight them.
It has. I'm looking at the trailer again, and the final trailer they put out before the game opened up, but it has a feel of a lot of different games, and I think that's what makes it kind of like comfort food, if you will.
It's got like Fallout feeling and like BioShock feeling.
Those are exactly the two.
The storyline is kind of like Firefly-esque, and it's got Futurama elements. It's got everything in there.
It's got what elements?
Like Futurama.
Oh, so there's like a sense of there's like humor in it too?
Oh my god, it's really funny. Yeah.
Okay.
Like the first time I got to a battle, the person's like, "Oh, there's some marauders over there," and she's like, "You think you should take them?" I'm like, "Get out of my way, you stupid coward!" And then she's like, "Oh, I'm tough too. I could fight them," and like stuff like that. So it's pretty fun.
The game came out on it opened up on October 25th. Again, Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. If you want to,
it's brand new, single player, open world, but so much you could do, so many things.
I think
options.
you can
kill anybody in the game, and it'll totally change your storyline going forward. I like that there's no holds barred. It's not like, oh, I don't like that guy. You like slash at them and they don't die. This way you kill them and they're like, oh shit, you just killed that guy. And then like the guards come over and now you have to like run away from the guards.
So is it killing other players or is it killing characters in the game? So when you continue with your character at another point, that's still part of your history.
Yeah, that's still part of your history.
Okay, so it's not like somebody who was the constable of that town that you killed was another player that nobody liked. It's a story character that stays with you and defines your history.
Yeah, it's a single-player game, so it's all NPCs that you'd be killing and stuff like that.
Well, I have to say, I think I'm going to try to jump into this over the weekend. It looks awesome. I don't know where exactly I'll start with all of this, but turn it on, boot it up, and see what I can do with it. I do have to say I feel a little silly compared to the games that you guys that are playing where they're very strategic, a lot of thinking, a lot of confrontations, challenges, where I am playing Mario Maker 2 on my Switch. It's a lot of fun.
I've heard great things about that too, Eric. Don't feel bad about it.
I'm in story mode currently. I have not jumped over to course mode where you can start playing random people's submissions and going through all of that, which I'm looking forward to. I'm doing the course mode, which is the story mode for it. And I gotta tell you, some of the things that people have created with these levels, like, wow, if this was in the original Mario game, I don't think I'd ever be able to have finished the game. And then
I've seen some of those on YouTube, and it is just insane. It's like, this is the exact timing, any deviation, and you will lose.
And it's crazy too because they make this rule so you don't have a bunch of trolls that in order for you to upload the level that you make, you have to be able to complete it yourself.
Yep.
So you're watching and you're like, oh my god, these people actually made this and completed it, which means either I just suck or they're really, really good.
It's usually both.
There was one level I tried where they have these big donut things, right? And they're smiling, have a face, and you jump on it, and it's pretty much like a trampoline that they shoot you up high into the air. So they have a donut thing, and then right above it at the very top of the screen, these spikes, right? And then next to that, another donut thing, and then below that, spikes. So every other piece is either the donut thing or spikes, and you have to go and bounce through all of that to get to the end. And I got to the point where I go, who is beating this? I can't control my jumping. It doesn't work. I keep stabbing myself or landing on the damn spikes. They have a cheat option, too, where you can hit this button and it says, have Luigi beat the course. The screen goes black. You just hear a bunch of noise, and then you hear the finish sound. Like, it's like, oh, I did it. It was so easy. It's like, fuck you, Luigi. He didn't even show it. He probably had a golf cart, went behind the wall like a Comic-Con, showed up at the end. It's like, I did it.
Mario 3 when you could duck and you go behind the scenery.
Yeah, exactly, like that. Well, anyway, so I've been playing Mario Maker. I've had a lot of fun with it, and now I want to get. Seems kind of kiddie, but I don't care. It looks like a lot of fun. Luigi's Mansion 3, and if you see the trailer. Remember when they made the Ghostbusters movie in 2016? The way they did the special effects for the ghosts, where it wasn't that they were just kind of translucent. They were like they were vivid. They were glowing. Like they had a really bold electric kind of feel to their coloring around them. Like if it was blue, it was really blue. If it was green and purple, like it really stood out from the rest of the dark backgrounds and atmosphere and scenarios that you were going through. So it has this feel for this game where you have this creepy mansion, and the mansion is like 9 stories tall. It's so weird looking, but you go in there, and then you're going through the house, but then the ghosts come out, and it's not just like those little boos from the Mario world. There are these translucent things that are vividly glowing, and just the effects on it looks really good.
Nice.
Yeah. It does look really, really cool. I think that's a game I definitely want to check out, too. And even one of the streamers I watch, who's well into his 30s, by the way, is really excited for it also.
Okay, good. So I'm not alone.
No, you're not alone.
I'd play it if I had a Switch.
Yeah.
Well, Gittles, Christmas and Hanukkah are around the corner. Maybe if you're good, you can ask Santa.
Ooh, hey, Santa. Where's Santa?
Yeah.
Where is Santa?
I don't know. He'll be on the corner at probably around Thanksgiving time.
Oh, great.
Oh, is he going to be in the TV show they're filming on the corner by me?
Correct, Amundo. 2 more things before we take a break, and they involve our former company.
Are you serious?
Yeah. One of the things was that SiriusXM announced a deal with Disney Marvel that they're putting out podcasts for comic books. So I guess what Marvel was doing not too long ago with the Wolverine series that they made an Audible or an audio style series. So it's just taking comic books, instead of writing the comic books, they perform the story. Old time radio, if you will. You're hearing the sounds, you're hearing the voice actors. It's very well produced. So they put that out, and apparently it did very well. So now Sirius has signed a deal where they're going to be partnering with Marvel to put out these shows. I guess Marvel will make them, and Sirius is going to have them available on the satellite and the Pandora platform that they own. Mm-hmm. Now, what was weird was that Sirius is the one that put the press release out. It wasn't Marvel and Disney. They were the first one to put it out was Sirius. And Sirius has a habit of spending ridiculous amount of money for press releases. They'll buy properties or license people's names or branding to put out a big press release like, oh my God, this is a big deal. Get everybody going crazy online. And then like a month later, they're kind of like, oh, we're on to the next thing. You know? So this comes around. Sirius puts out the press release first. Then eventually Marvel confirms, and whoever Marvel Disney's PR people put it out there saying, yes, this is happening. Here are the details, what have you. Now, before I left Sirius, for most of 2017, I was pitching a couple of different projects with the company. And one of them was to do something with Marvel at the time, because Marvel in New York, the print comic books are not doing well. Same thing with DC. The print comic is really struggling and probably is going to go away within a couple of years. It'll just be
You think so?
Yeah. Because DC's already, the rumor around DC is that they're already on the chopping block, that they're going to start, they're going to stop making the actual print comic books and just probably do it in a digital, like, because you're already getting your stuff off of like Comixology or their own specific app for reading things.
Collectors still like the copies though, the physical.
They
copies.
do, but there's no value in it. You know, those old comic books.
Value.
Yeah, but they don't give a shit about personal value anymore. Their sales are not doing well as far as the actual physical copies. So, like I said, it was a rumor that's going around that DC is going to be making some changes. And it's possible because HBO Max is launching next year, and there are people trying to figure out what's going on with DC's involvement, since Warner Brothers owns DC, and that's under that umbrella. And now Marvel's putting out the podcast versions, which are just going to be Audible stories of comic books, which the press release said this is the natural progression to that. And I said, is it really? It's a nice piece, but it's a nice little thing to have. But going from hand-drawn or graphic-drawn, whatever, comic books that you could read in physical form to audio-only version doesn't seem like the natural progression. You would think, well, we're going to start an animated division, and these books are going to have animated things every month that will put them out there as the story instead of the comic books. The podcast seems like it would take a lot longer to put all that together than the animated stuff.
Yeah, that's like backwards. That's like old time radio,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, as opposed to like what comic books are, which is basically a screenplay.
Yeah, I wonder if they're just trying to jump on and because we covered this on Marvel Movie News last week. They're also doing. It's not going to be just that sort of audible version of a story. It's also going to be interview podcasts and just like news podcasts also about Marvel as well. It's going to be like a whole little thing. And
but I don't see why they need Sirius to do this.
I think that they just want a big platform. I mean, they're already a big platform, but I feel like maybe because Sirius already has a built-in subscriber base and they think they can probably, I'm guessing they can pull from that.
Maybe. Or Sirius went to them and threw a ton of money at them and they just bid at it. I think, look, Disney likes to do everything the right way, their way, and do it all in-house. As we can see with Disney Plus starting in a few weeks. Why wouldn't they have their own kind of network where they can just do it all in-house and do it all themselves?
I don't know.
Sirius doesn't have a great track record of longevity when it comes to projects. I know that from having worked there, and the public knows that from just the stuff that they put out. They put out stuff that was great for a while, and then they, like I said, on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing, and then everything they just bought a few months ago suffers and then eventually goes away, and that's just what they do. I think this is going to be very detrimental, and I think Marvel will eventually see that, oh yeah, they were doing this stuff. You know what? We could probably do this better in-house, and then that deal will go away, and Marvel will thrive doing what Marvel does, and then do it somehow with a company that Disney either is going to create or buy and make it a Disney property. And they go, this company just handles our podcast stuff for all our factions, for Star Wars, for Marvel, for Disney, all that. It's all in this place. I think it's just a stepping stone while Disney's dealing with everything else. That Sirius came in and threw a ton of money at it, but eventually they'll go, you know what? It's not even worth having their money to do this when we could do all this ourselves. So we'll see.
I mean, I could definitely see that happening. It's what Disney's doing now, slowly but surely.
So that's part one. Part two, I get a notice last week that our show has been picked up and is being carried on Pandora. Now, I didn't apply for this. I didn't say, hey, I would like to get our stuff on Pandora. I got a notice saying that we have been added to Pandora. So I was reading their email. I'm trying to go through this. I'm like, how? I don't give them rights to this. How is this happening? So I think they're doing some kind of grab on podcasts that are doing well, or that they could get permission for off of just basic RSS feeds. Like, because, you know, our main home for the show was on iHeart with the iHeart app. But we're also available on Apple and Google Podcasts feeds. Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon, the Alexa. You can talk to that thing, and eventually it'll play our show if you say the right things for it. But it's an RSS feed that goes to iTunes, and that means anybody else can kind of grab onto it and pull the feed from it. I think that's what they were doing, because I think they're like, if you get your podcast on Spotify, you have to go and apply, and you have to get approved. You have to meet their criteria to have it on there, unless you're doing a joint venture with them where the advertising is involved and what have you.
Yeah.
iTunes, you can throw anything up there, and it eventually just shows up, or same thing with Google. But for the Pandora system to pick us up was weird, because I got an email. I'm like, I didn't apply for this. I didn't put our show up for a review. Now, it could be one of two things. It could be what I think was that they're just going around finding streams that are doing well and pulling that stream and adding it to them like a hub, right? So it's available on Pandora, but we're not part of Pandora. We don't have a deal with Pandora. It's just another place you can pick up our show. Right?
But wait, is it playing like episodes in order? How does it work on Pandora then? I'm confused.
Yeah.
Just like any other podcast. I mean, from what I understand, you see our list of shows, and you can download our show and play it through the Pandora app. It's not playing like a radio channel.
Is it on Pandora through like iHeart?
No, there's no way it would be on Pandora through iHeart. They're major competitors.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. So, no, I'm telling you, I'm not scolding you. It's like, God damn it, Gittles. How do you not know? No,
I do not know the intricacies of radio.
They're big competing companies. So I'm trying to find out. I'm asking around. Some of the people I've asked don't they still work over there, and they don't know how the Pandora aspect of that company is really working. So it could be that they're just pulling random feeds and saying, hey, it's available in a hub there where you can just another place where you can find our show. It could also be somebody is working. Somebody is working over there that I know, but I may not be aware of. But somebody that knows me, and then added our show to the thing, maybe as a favor. I don't know. Nobody's told me that they've done this, so that's probably not likely. But that could be a possibility that somebody over there knew our show and just added us into the land grab, if you will, of what's going over there in Pandora. Now,
hey, I mean, more people. If we get more listeners somehow, let's take it.
Yeah,
I was gonna say this is good, right? This is a good thing.
It is, and it isn't. I mean, it's my personal resentment for the other place, but I don't care if they're gonna carry the thing, and it exposes us to more people, like you said, more than the merrier. But in the email, it says some of the conditions for having your show being carried on Pandora. And one of the conditions is that you have to mention somewhere in each episode that the show is available on Pandora.
Well, I think we just did that, right?
We did that now, but I'm not doing that every show. Every show that we do, we don't say that, oh, here are all the platforms that we're available on. We have a production piece that does that plays somewhere in this that gets thrown in there that does tell you where it's available. And our graphics that go out for social media tell you all the platforms that we're on. But their thing says it can't just be us saying that, if it's found that the show is promoting competitors and not mentioning Pandora, that you could be dropped from the service. And I looked at this, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. Drop us from the service. It doesn't matter. We didn't ask to be on there. It's nice that you picked us up. Hopefully it translates to more people. But I'm reading your rules that I got to mention the show is available there every show. Which I'll throw it in. I'll have some new production made. I'll put it on there that it is available. I don't care. But the gall of you to say, well, if you don't do this every time and we catch you, we're going to drop you. Then drop us.
You're like, I didn't ask to be on here. What are you? Stupid.
It's like showing up to a job and the boss being like, or showing up to like a store and the boss come up to you and be like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be here. You're fired. You're like, okay, I didn't even know I was supposed to be here today.
Yeah.
I don't even work here, sir.
Yeah, you're like, what are you talking about? I just came in here for some apples.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. That's why it's very puzzling. So I was asking around. People don't know. The people that are over there that I still talk to or whatever don't know how the Pandora aspect of the company works. But who knows? Maybe somebody over in that division likes us and threw us on there as a cool thing. And if that's the case, thank you very much. If it's just them doing a land grab of trying to get everything over there, so it's like, oh, you can get all your podcasts here. Okay, fine, you can do that too. But if you're going to send me regulations and rules of of what we have to do in order for our show to remain being pulled. We're not providing the show to them. They're not paying for us to do this show for them. They just took our feed and it's available on their platform. But the nerve of you to tell me what I have to do, what we have to do on our own show when we didn't have a deal with you.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds to me like they're stealing shows and then trying to get free advertising on their shows by giving you these commands.
You're right, Gittles.
I think
they're just taking the shows and then they're like, oh yeah, hey, you're now on our network, so you gotta if you plug this, you can keep it here. And
I don't think they're that smart. I think what it might be is that by pulling these feeds, which you can, they're free. The RSS feed, if you find it's free. Feed anywhere. It's free for you to put in any podcast player, and that's how you would get our show to your particular app. They probably did that. What possibly could have happened is that they cut and paste an email for people that would submit their show or maybe have some kind of business dealing with hey, we want to do business with your show, maybe some kind of exclusivity deal or ad sharing deal with them. They took the rules and regulations portion of that email and just copied and pasted into this thing. These could be rules for a business agreement or a business deal that Pandora has with other shows or other properties, and this just might be just cut and paste the same thing, the legalities over into it, so that it may not even apply to what we're doing. But the fact I got the email was driving me nuts. I got mad at first because I don't really want to do anything with that company ever again, but I started laughing about it. I'm like, so we're on there. We didn't ask to be on there, but we're there. The rules, it's you don't send me rules when you're saying, hey, I want to do a favor for you that I didn't ask for. I'm going to give you $100, but you're going to owe me interest and all this stuff. No, I didn't ask you for the $100. I will take it, but I didn't ask you for it, and I'm not living up to your rules on how to pay you back for this.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like we're being trapped.
Yeah, that sounds kind of
we've
weird.
opened Pandora's box. Dun, dun, dun. And it was a real Pandora email. This wasn't
and that's
Pandora from a Nigerian scammer.
Right. I don't know, but I didn't sign anything.
Pandora from a Nigerian scammer.
Yes, hi. We have your podcast. We will give you $20 million if you plug our Pandora.
Otherwise, we're putting up a new episode next week. Do it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I will promote the hell that our show was hijacked by Nigerian scammers, and they're going to do an episode next week. So, like you, I get to sit back and play a fan, and we'll all together see what their new show is like.
Yeah.
Hello.
That's fun.
I am Gittles. He's waving a machete. You're like, Jesus. This took a turn.
You don't look like the Gittles. He's hacking up meat and stuff. I am cooking. You're like,
These were villagers. I killed the constable of our town.
Yes.
Anyway,
I like this world.
Except it's real life, and you can't fly away.
Girl, I don't like this.
So anyway, that was it. That's the updates for SiriusXM. Kind of weird, but
yeah, that's very random.
One thing I did forget to finish up on was with the podcast stuff. Whereas I talked about there was projects I pitched in 2017, and one of them was with Marvel. The other one was with Nerdist at the time, and IGN. And Gittles, you may remember we had, I forgot his last name, Kevin. He's from San Francisco. He's on IGN. He was doing esports. They were just testing out esports at SiriusXM.
Oh, I remember who you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
Right. And IGN wanted to do more stuff because they're mostly, I guess, a gaming company, but they were branching out to try to do more news-style blogging stuff like Nerdist does or like a few other well-known sites. And I had pitched, I was like, let's do this. Here's the whole layout. I talked to people over at Nerdist. Here's how the channel would work. And they told me, it was actually a couple weeks before I left there, which means they knew I was leaving, that they're like, yeah, this isn't going to work. They wanted too much money, and we don't think they're worth the money, and we don't. And I said, well, what about the Marvel thing? Because we had some people over there we were talking to. Yeah, well, we're not really interested in doing any of that stuff. Then 2 years later, hey, that's pretty similar to what I was talking about. And then, granted, look, I'm not taking
credit. You always said, though, they were always behind the times there. They always missed something. They always missed something, then it became huge, and then they tried to get on it, and it was like, what are you doing? You missed this. You should have done this when we told you about it.
And I'm not trying to, I just want to clarify because I know I'll get assholes saying this, but I'm not trying to clarify that I had the idea for Marvel to do these kind of podcast things or what have you. That not at all. I had pitched something similar to doing some kind of audio partnership with them because they had advertisements online. They were hiring people to try to build up podcasts over at Marvel. And I said, look, if they're trying to build their own thing, why don't we do something here, like a micro station or an online streaming thing or something? And all of those proposals got turned down because they said this isn't what they're looking for. They're not looking to do this, and the Nerdist co-branding was they wanted too much money, so we didn't feel that they were worth it. Okay, fine, then so be it. But now this thing came around 2 years later. I'm not taking credit for it. I'm not saying they stole my idea, but it's pretty suspicious that Marvel. I saw where Marvel was going with this, and that they were building these things, and then Sirius jumped right on it 2 years later and probably spent a ton more money now to do this than they would have back in 2017. They could have got it probably a lot cheaper and still used the same Marvel crossover branding. But what do I know? Everybody else is fucking better in this business than I am.
Yeah.
I'm just agreeing.
All right, let's try to end on a happy note here as we go to break. Unfortunately, it's a weird. I shouldn't have teased it that way because it's a weird thing to happen here. That do you know who John Witherspoon is?
Yes, of course.
All right, legendary comedian, actor. You may know him as Ice Cube's dad in the Friday movie series. What was the other? I was just thinking of the other thing. Harlem.
He's in Boondocks, right?
Yeah, he was the grandfather in Boondocks. Harlem Nights, I think he was into the Eddie Murphy movie. Yeah, where they played it was the black gangsters like in the 20s or the 30s or something like that. Anyway, if you've seen him on TV, you know exactly who it is. He's also was a stand-up comedian. He was touring around all his life doing stand-up comedy. He was very beloved, and he just recently passed away at the age of 77. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a couple of clips of Mr. Witherspoon from some of his more famous roles as we go into break. And then when we come back, we've got a bunch of TV and movie stuff that we need to update you with. And we'll go to break.
Hey! Huh? Come in here. Where you at? In the bathroom.
Oh, man, I'll wait till you come out.
Boy, bring your ass off up in here. What you talking about? You wait till I come out. I smelled your shit for 22 years. Now you can't smell mine for 5 minutes. Now, your mama told me what happened to you yesterday.
What?
That was stupid. How the hell you gonna get fired on your day off?
I don't know.
Well, you need a trade. Take a look at that paper over there on the counter there.
I ain't trying to be no dog catcher.
Why not? George Clinton was a dog catcher.
No, he wasn't.
Sure he was. That's why he said, "To the dog catcher, dog catcher."
I don't even like dogs.
That's the beauty of it. I grab a dog, and I choke him, and I kick the shit out of him. And I all day long, I foot up a dog's ass. Just bang, bang, bang up his ass. That's my pleasure.
It's Erik Nagel with Erik and Gittles. More next. It's Erik Nagel. Follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and Facebook at It's Erik Nagel.
Hey, this is Carl Weathers. You're listening to It's Erik Nagel.
And we're back for segment 2 of the program.
Two.
Me, of Gittles, of Zia, and everyone saying 2.
2?
As well
as
TOO.
Also.
Anywho,
I was trying to think of another one.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Went nowhere. Looking at last week's box office, coming in at number 1, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, still at number 1. Number 2 is The Joker. Number 3, actually moving up, is The Addams Family, the new animated movie. I've heard a lot of good things. I want to see it. I don't know if I'll go to the theater to see it, but if it's on demand by Christmas time, I'll definitely purchase that.
Addams Family for Christmas.
I'm
a
big Addams Family fan. When back in the days when it mattered of the Addams Family versus the Munsters, who did you like? was always Addams Family.
Addams Family was always better than the Munsters.
People love the Munsters, man. It's just like saying Three Stooges versus the Marx Brothers. And so many people would always say the Three Stooges. It's like, no, man, the Marx Brothers.
Munster or Gouda?
Oh, they're both good. Don't make me choose.
See? Yeah, that's tough. That's a much harder choice.
Gouda.
Yep, that's the better choice.
Thanks.
Put them both on a hamburger.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Number 4, Zombieland Double Tap. And coming in at number 5 is Countdown. I'm trying to remember.
That horror movie. Yeah. Did you see that, Gittles? You said you were going to.
I haven't seen it yet, but I am going to see it because it sounds like something up my alley.
I just want to know how Tom Segura is in it. I'm such a big fan of his comedy. He's so funny.
I love him too, yeah. All of his specials on Netflix are great.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know he was in it until you said it, because I didn't even, I mean, honestly, I didn't know this was a movie until we talked about it last week. But I do want to see it. It sounds like something that's like right up my alley.
Mm-hmm.
I want to point out something real quick, because I went to go look up.
Point it out, Erik.
I wanted to look up the cast of Countdown, right?
Yes.
So Box Office Mojo is a website where you could get all the box office information, the new releases, all this fun stuff about movies, and it's a very useful tool to a lot of radio shows, news programs, etc. A lot of people used it. It just recently was bought and had a major makeover by IMDb. If you go and you use it, you get the basic features of seeing the movie countdowns and the box office receipts, what have you. But then you go, it's very uniform, very well organized, I guess you could say. But it's also very dull. It's very sterile. So you click on this thing here. I'm on for Countdown. You can see the domestic box office. You got the specs here for worldwide, the time, how many theater release, the category, etc. So if you want to see the cast information, you go to the right and you click Cast Information. It opens up an IMDb Pro window that says if you want to see this information, start your 30-day free trial, or if you're already a member, log in. So now you're not getting the information. It's like going to the New York Times or the Washington Post website for an article that was, being passed around on Twitter, and you go, okay, let me see why it's trending. Oh, you see the first paragraph. You got to sign in, $4.99 a month, and you can see the rest of the article. Nope, don't care. Don't care, not paying for this thing. So now I've got to figure out what we're going to do without Box Office Mojo here, because it was fine while it lasted, but now they came in and it really is just a sterile piece of junk.
And that's why people can't complain too much about ads, because if you're not willing to pay for things, they have to then sell ad space.
Right. Oh, well.
As annoying as they are, I always just click off of them and try not to let it bother me too much, because then otherwise you have to pay $4.99 to read articles, and nobody wants to do that.
Nope.
I'm tired of all these subscriptions. I don't want to pay for anything anymore. There's too many of them.
Well,
I saw an article that broke down all the subscriptions. Oh, you're going to get there?
I have that. We're going to get to that in just a moment here, but I want to finish up with movies, and then we'll get over to the subscription stuff. So opening this weekend, Terminator Dark Fate is opening.
Yep.
I don't know what these other movies are. What is Harriet?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's the movie about Harriet
Tubman.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that movie's out. Motherless Brooklyn is also opening.
I want to see that. That actually looks cool.
I haven't heard of that one.
Set against the backdrops of the 1950s New York, Motherless Brooklyn follows Lionel Esrog, or Esrog, however you want to pronounce that, a lonely private detective afflicted with Tourette syndrome as he ventures to solve the murder of his mentor and only friend.
Interesting.
It's that's Edward Norton, and I think it also has Bruce Willis, and there are a couple of other really good casting choices in there. So it looks good. It's rated R. It looks interesting. I definitely want to see it.
All right. And then Arctic Dogs, which is just another...
I don't know what that is.
Oh, John Cleese is in this one.
Gittles.
Heidi Klum's in there. Jeremy Renner is the lead on it.
Can Heidi Klum act?
Don't have to. You're reading a voice copy.
I guess that's true.
Right. So that's what's opening.
She's not the actual wolf, right?
No.
It's just her dressed in wolf rags with a wolf head on her ear, and she just like walks around on all fours, howling at stuff.
It wouldn't be far off from like any of the Victoria's Secret shoots she's done in the past.
That's true.
I'm looking for there. That's all that's opening this weekend here. That's of any interest. Let's jump to next weekend. Is there anything? Oh, the Shining sequels next weekend. Doctor Sleep.
Ugh, zero interest in that.
Really?
Oh yeah, I have no interest in seeing a sequel to The Shining. I just saw the trailer because I went to the movies yesterday, and I saw the trailer for it, and I was just like, no, thank you. I have no interest. And there's like all these people outside the house, and they have to go to the house to beat them. Like, ugh, no, this looks stupid. Stupid. Like, it might be bad enough that I'll see it just to complain about it, but I have no interest in seeing it as like I really need to see this movie.
Do you know if it's actually based on a Stephen King book that was written, or it's literally just created movie
No, it's based
for?
on a book.
It's based.
It's
based on the Stephen King story. Yeah.
Okay.
It's about Danny going back to the,
But that
to the
doesn't mean that's
hotel
good.
and trying to figure out what happened with his family and all that.
Yeah, no thanks. Pass.
Yeah, so that's the following weekend. Then Playing with Fire. That's the John Cena family movie where they're firefighters.
Oh.
Last Christmas, which is the Emilia Clarke movie with Emma Thompson. And, Peter Serafinowicz is in it as well.
Oh, interesting. Is it a romantic comedy?
It seems to be that.
Is.
I mean, it sounds like it's coming out around this time of year.
Yeah.
It's called Last Christmas.
Yeah.
And it's going to have a star-studded cast of who's who.
And it's Last Christmas, the stunning colorization of World War I footage.
Yeah.
And I think that's it for next week. We'll get into all that stuff at another time. Some movie news before we get into all the streaming stuff there. So the final Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker trailer dropped the other night. And there was a bit of a surprise in it, at least for me. I don't know about for everybody else. Watching the trailer, there's some new footage for... Oh, sorry, this wasn't for Rise of Skywalker.
I was going to say, this is for Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Sorry. The final trailer for The Mandalorian, which is going to be on Disney Plus's service. I had it in the wrong section. It should have been under streaming. It was in the movies. That's my fault. So there was a surprise. I'm watching it, and I pause it, and I go back again, and I'm looking at it, and I go, this guy looks like somebody I know. And I'm staring at it, and I do a screenshot, and I zoom in on it, and I go, oh my God, it is the person I know. And it's Bill Burr. Bill Burr is now part of Star Wars lore, and he's in The Mandalorian. I don't know his character's name. I don't know how long he's in the actual series, but season 1 for Mandalorian is 10 episodes. All 10 episodes will be available at the launch of Disney Plus on November... I had the date here somewhere.
How great would it be if he's in the show just for that one shot and then he gets shot in the head and dies like right there? And he just thought that was it.
Or if it was one of those things like in the 80s movies where you would see scenes in the trailer that weren't actually in the movie.
Yeah. All the
They
time.
just cut him from the show completely. Oh, that would suck so bad.
Well, yeah. So anyway, sent him a nice text and said, hey, Bill, congratulations. You're in fucking Star Wars. And
That is cool.
He was very excited about it.
I actually did know that. There was a picture going around the internet that showed, so I guess it was more rumor, but it was like, hey, Bill Burr's going to be in The Mandalorian. And I guess it's a rumor that's true, but there was a picture that was circulating the internet of the back of his head, and someone circled it and was like, this is Bill Burr. And it turns out he is going to be in it. So I don't know if they just knew that or if that's a leak or if they were, like, this is Bill Burr's head.
If anybody out there is listening that does movies or works in the production companies or something, or is an aspiring one, that is a great promotional technique that you just came up with, where they just take the shots of back of people's heads
Backs of people's
in the
heads.
scenes.
There he is.
You draw on there, and it says Ryan Reynolds, Bill Burr, Sandra Bullock. What?
They're going to be in what?
Yeah, it's just the back of people's heads, and they draw faces on their hair.
But then they have to be in it.
That.
Yeah, they're in it. They just don't do the reveal. They just put text on the heads, and then the next trailer has the drawings, like the poster, the artwork, before the trailer comes out. The teasers, if you will. That'd be fun.
Just give a little tease.
Universal Pictures and Emmy-nominated writer-director Paul Feig are teaming up for a new monster movie called Dark Army. And it's going to be pretty much assembling all the old Universal monsters that they own the rights to and the likeness to and put them into one movie. Universal in the last decade was trying to reboot the monster franchise like The Mummy and The Werewolf and Frankenstein and Dracula. And that reboot of The Mummy with was it Tom Cruise?
It was
Tom.
It was Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't do well.
It didn't look good.
I mean, it might have brought in some money for it, but I think overall people just were like, nobody cares about these characters. Maybe a nice, cool Dracula thing in a modern feel to it might work.
I'm down.
But so now they're going to try to do this movie called Dark Army. I'm kind of excited about it because, look, I know it didn't do well, but I kind of liked Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman.
I didn't like it. My parents liked it. I didn't like it.
I liked the concept of having all the monsters there and doing, fighting and doing all of this stuff. And if it was done better, I think if that movie was done better, I think they'd be around now. But the movie didn't do well. I want them to see that, like, it feels like the Castlevania game, the first one, where you're going through the mansion and it's like, oh, you got to beat Medusa, then you got to beat Frankenstein, then you got to beat the werewolf. Finally, you get to Dracula at the end. So they're announcing I don't have much more information other than it was just an interview that Paul did that's saying that he's going to bring these classic monster characters back into the fold to do this movie. So look, I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt. I would like to see them do something like that. I don't know if any of you guys care about those old classic monsters.
I don't care about any of those properties. Whatever. If something comes out and it's good, I'll see it, but I don't have any interest in it.
I definitely like that sort of stuff. I liked Bram Stoker's Dracula a lot, so I would like to see a Dracula get brought back with in a more modern twist. I think that'd be really cool. And I always go see these movies. Vampire Mr. Burns. Yep. Nobody can see that, but he's holding up a pop of Vampire Mr. Burns, and it looks
Bram Stoker's
awesome.
Dracula, yeah.
But I always watch those movies hoping they're going to be good. And you're right, they're just never done right. What was the one that I watched? It was with Aaron Eckhart, and it was like one of those
Sandman. No. That was in a movie.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Eric?
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
Oh my gosh, what was that called? I watched it hoping it was going to be good because it's right up my alley. Like, I really like that kind of stuff. I read a lot of Anne Rice growing up when I was a young teen. And so I really like that sort of stuff, but I just feel like they just never do a good job.
Do you remember was it I, Frankenstein?
Yes, I, Frankenstein.
Okay.
I watched
I didn't see that one.
So terrible. I wanted it to be good so bad because I was so interested in it and I thought it was going to be really good, but it was not. It was awful. But I love the idea. Just do it good. Yeah, take that concept and make it right.
It's amazing that Frankenstein just has all these movies since the 30s, 40s. I guess when those original movies came out.
Yeah.
Really, other than Dracula, but in different incarnations or alluding to Dracula with other vampire stuff, all the other creatures never had anything. The Brendan Fraser Mummy trilogy was okay. And that launched
I didn't mind
that launched The Rock's career. So I mean, you can say at least it did that. But like you would think Frankenstein would be like an amazing character that would launch a lot of stuff, and it did nothing. And they still do nothing with it.
He's just like pieces of other people.
But
pieces of you, pieces of me, hung upon the wall.
There's like lots of bits of other things in there, you know? I never liked Frankenstein either. Like, those are things I think when you're a kid you watched because your parents were like, these are what I watched. And, you know, you see like the Looney Tunes versions of stuff. But when you get older, it's like they're not interesting stories. Like, I don't care. I like the Brendan Fraser Mummy, but
people were a lot easier to scare back then, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's all that you needed. It was like, oh, this guy's wrapped in toilet paper. Boo! It's like, oh shit.
The Mummy, the Brendan Fraser Mummy was creepy though. Like, I remember it was like legit creepy.
Yeah, when they had, I don't know if it was because the Mummy kept turning into like the sand would turn into the spirit of it. Then the locust infestation would become the spirit of it. Like. Yeah, it had some good takes on it, where it wasn't just a guy wrapped in bandages and toilet paper. It actually was an essence that was terrifying.
Yeah,
but
you could make.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you could take the original stories and make small tweaks like that to make it more interesting or more scary or more whatever to get to sort of draw an audience. And it doesn't have to be so true to the story of, hey, we just put this dude together. Like, put a backstory.
Yeah.
Add something.
You know what else you could do? Legos.
Yeah.
Lego Frankenstein. Constantly falling
You know
apart.
what? Those Lego movies are good. I've watched a lot of them, and I like them.
I
So
do.
absolutely.
The Lego Batman movies are good. Even the Lego 1 and 2 movies are actually really good.
Yeah, I watched them
The
both.
games
They're
are fun. If you're playing video games, I used to play Lego Star Wars and Lego
Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter.
I played the Lego Hobbit.
I never played any of the
some
Lego
of it.
games.
They're
I just
fun.
had Legos and I just put them together.
And play with those.
Yeah.
Just Gittles sitting there on his floor with the Legos.
Pretty much. I have a sad life.
I lost his leg. Fuck it. I'm not doing this anymore. Throws it out.
Yep.
Goes outside.
I just leave them on the floor and I just step on them just for pleasure.
Gittles, you saw The Lighthouse.
Yes, I went last night and saw it.
How was it? Because I want to point out, Gittles went to see the movie, and then he tweeted out that he saw the movie, but he needed some time to absorb it to fully flesh out how he felt about the movie. So at least it's making you think, and now I'm even more intrigued.
I think overall I didn't really like it. I liked elements of it, but as a movie, I didn't really think I liked it. I think the acting was fantastic. I think Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson were great. The cinematography was great. The music or the subtlety of the soundtrack was nice. You know, the most of the time, all you're hearing was the brrrr of the Lighthouse or Willem Dafoe farting because he farts a lot in the movie. Like there is so much farting in this movie. At one point, I'm not even joking. This is a line, and this is not a spoiler. But Robert Pattinson just screams at the top of his lungs, "I'm tired of all your goddamn farts!" Like right in his face. Like that's an actual line from the movie. I am not making that shit up. Like just screams at him. He says farts like that, like fart, like rat farts, but like farts, like just right in his face.
See, that's a great drop for the back in the days when radio shows and radio production used to put drops and stuff into their
Oh my
production.
God.
So you'd really come out of break and you're Opie and Anthony. I'm sick of all your farts. Serious accent.
Goddamn farts! Yeah, dude, it's ridiculous. But it's a really artsy picture. Watching it about 5 to 10 minutes into the movie, I knew right away that it was not going to have any kind of conclusive ending and that it was going to be a figured out type movie. Where you're going to have to really pay attention and interpret everything that's going on and try and figure it out. The whole movie is shot in a different aspect ratio, so it's not widescreen. It's like an old 4:3, so it's just small in the middle of the movie screen the whole time. It's like
that's annoying.
Yeah,
but it's shot that way on purpose, so you feel like the claustrophobia kind of the lighthouse.
Okay.
And the cramped quarters. I don't know if I would recommend it, to be honest. I think people should see it, but I don't know if I could recommend it because I don't really know if I liked it.
See,
and I've seen it, and I still think about it. I mean, there was so many, allusions and subtleties to like Greek gods, and there's some mermaid stuff in there. There's some tentacle stuff in there. There's some like weird things, but ultimately, I think the movie was too subtle, and it was like, yeah, you got to figure this out. It's like, yeah, but did you figure it out when you made this? Like, what's happening? I don't know. I don't know if who would like it. The person I went and saw it with is in the same boat. My coworker, who was really excited to see it last week. I totally understand now when I said, well, was it good or not? And he said, well, just go see it. And now I understand why he said that, because it's a really hard movie to say if you liked it or not, because the elements that are there are really good. Like I said, Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, like stellar performances. If either of them don't get nominated for like some sort of award, I'd be surprised, because they were just both so good. And like I said, the cinematography was fantastic, but the movie itself, meh. I don't think it was that great.
It's really funny. I have a girl that I follow who does a lot of movie reviews, and she said literally the exact same thing that you just said. Amazing cinematography, amazing performances. The movie itself, not much storyline, not conclusive, very meh. So seems to be a popular opinion.
The New York Times says very meh.
They give it a half a thumbs up.
I'd say if you want to see it, there's lots of and people just being completely shit-faced drunk to the point that you can't tell like what's happening is actually happening, or if it's just in their heads because they're drunk and isolated in this lighthouse. There's birds. It's a movie. I mean, the entire cast is 3 people.
But there's a third person? I thought it was just going to be 2.
Yeah, well, there's like a mermaid that like
right,
that you can't tell if it's like a dream or not. But there's like a mermaid person that you do see her face.
I love
it. There's 3 people, but it's so funny because it's like cast, and it's like Willem Dafoe, Robert Pattinson, and then this girl. That's the whole cast.
Wow.
I honestly wouldn't this is the kind of movie where I would not be surprised if you see this being done as plays, like on stage, because it could be easily be done with with like a 1-room type thing with 2 guys getting drunk. There's not a lot of crazy special effects that are necessary, and the way the story unfolds is very much like a play. And even the dialogue, when you watch I sat through the credits, and at the very end of the credits, it says that all the dialogue from the movie was taken from Lighthouse journals and from sea stories, which makes sense because people are yelling like, you blubbering bastard with the birds and the sun and the bird, and they're just yelling this shit and like foaming at the mouth, screaming at each other. And I'm like, I have no idea what these drunken bastards are saying.
Okay, I want to point out 3 things that Gittles have said in this course of this conversation about this movie, and picture it as the movie commercial, commercial for television. The New York Times says it's very meh. Hollywood Reporter says, yeah, it's a movie. Variety says, I have no idea what these drunken bastards are talking about.
Yeah.
The Lighthouse, open now.
Like that's pretty good.
Somebody that's good at editing needs to put that together because that would be really funny.
I mean, that's basically what the whole movie is. Lots of screaming.
Open in theaters now. What is this blubbering mess you're talking about?
Yeah. You can't kill a seabird.
Just like that.
Goddamn farts. Robert Pattinson's accent in the movie is all over the place. There's parts where he sounds like he's from Brooklyn, parts where he sounds like he's from Boston, parts where he sounds like he's from Ireland, parts where he sounds like he's from England. So I don't know if that was done on purpose or what, or if he was just having a hard time keeping in accent while screaming and being drunk the whole time. I don't know, but it was a very noticeable change.
Kind of reminds me of if anybody saw the live action All in the Family / Jeffersons that they did. Woody Harrelson was a decent Archie Bunker, and he was doing the Queen's accent, but then it would slide into his Texan native accent. So it would be like Archie's going, oh, geez, little girl. All right. You know, like it was sliding into that. Like, wait, which character is he playing? I know that's Matthew McConaughey,
that's how it felt. But like I said, I don't know if it was done like that on purpose because there's like things that are revealed in the movie that I won't spoil. So I don't know if it's like that, but I don't know. It's a movie. It's interesting. I want to then check it out, but it's kind of feels repetitive at parts. But I think all that's done on purpose.
All right. Well, I'll wait for On Demand to watch that movie.
Yeah,
and,
same. That's
oh my god, it's gonna look so small on TV at home on the screen because it was already shrunk. Yeah, it's gonna be like watching it through, like a viewfinder.
Yeah, like on The Simpsons when the TV he hit the TV and the picture shrunk to a dot. And they're like, oh, I can kind of make it out. And Marge goes, this is sick. They're staring at a dot.
Yeah, exactly.
You're up close. Your face is pressed against the flat screen. What are you doing? Watching this movie. You're a weird bird. Finishing up movies. So the Witcher trailer drops. It drops probably while you're listening to this show now. Zia, what is the Witcher trailer?
It's based. Well, actually, okay. So I've heard that it's not actually based on the video game.
She was biting her sleeves, by the way, with excitement. Just so you know.
I'm like far too excited about this, and I don't know why. I guess a lot of people are iffy on. For some reason, that actor's name is completely escaping me. Who's playing Geralt? But apparently, they're kind of iffy on him playing that character. I don't know. I've heard he's a fan, but I've also heard people say that before when they become part of a project. They're like, I'm such a big fan. And I don't know if they just have to say that or if they're actually a fan. Regardless, I'm excited about this. But I did hear it's not based on the video game. It's actually based on the novels, the books.
Okay.
So I'm sure there'll be some differences. And I haven't played as much of the game as I would like. That's another one that I need to stream more of. But I'm so excited about this. This is just all up my alley. If they made a Skyrim show or a Skyrim movie, I would have probably passed out from excitement already. But this is like right up there.
Where is this going?
Where is this gonna be on?
Netflix. It's gonna be on Netflix.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This was
I think
under
I think it's gonna be good. I think that there's a decent budget going into it. I've seen some of the costumes. I'm in. I'm interested. I can't wait.
They have a story, so that, I mean, if they screw it up, it's on them.
Yeah, exactly. You have a story to follow. If you just put a good budget into it and good writing and it should be decent acting,
Get it done.
Don't mess it up.
All right. Well, 8 episodes. It's coming to Netflix here, so we'll move on to streaming because this was under movies for some reason. But
sorry.
No, that's fine. So streaming. You had mentioned earlier that there's this thing that came out with listing the streaming fees. And before we get into some of the shows that are coming out for Netflix and HBO Max and all that, I just want to lay this out here. So that whole myth of the cord cutting to save money is good in like communism in theory, but it doesn't work when you try to make it happen and actually execute the idea. So the streaming services, here's a basic rundown of costs, right? So you have HBO Max, which comes out spring of next year in 2020, I think May of 2020, will be $15. Then you have Netflix, their basic package is $13. Hulu is $12. Showtime, which who the hell is paying for that?
Right?
$11 for their streaming thing.
Around.
Who cares? CBS All Access, or is that what it's called? Their platform? I think
Yeah,
it's All
that's
Access.
their like where they show
That's
Star
where
Trek.
Picard's coming to. Because I think I'm going to pay to watch Picard, and then I'll quickly cancel. $10 for the CBS platform. Amazon Prime, if you're a Prime member, for shipping and all that stuff, it's part of your subscription. But if you're not, if you're just going to sign up for the Prime Video service, is $9. Stars has their own pay platform, which, look, if you didn't care about Showtime, who cares about Stars? I mean, yes, you got American Gods.
What's even on
American
Stars?
Gods is on there. And there was another show on Stars that I used to watch, but still not worth me. I'll pay for the season to watch it rather than pay for their streaming platform. Now, Disney Plus is estimated at $7 a month. Now, everybody has different deals based on what Disney's been putting out there, and we still don't know the hard price yet for the Hulu package deal that they said they're going to offer at the time of launch, which is supposed to be Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus together, and the rumor is that it's $13 for that bundle, which even that is extremely cheap. But if you're just getting regular Disney Plus, the monthly service is $7. And Apple TV is going to be $5. And they've only announced 2, maybe 3 shows, I think, for Apple
Yeah, because that's all you're going to pay $5 for. There are 2 or 3 shows that hopefully get any kind of buzz that makes people want to sign up for it.
Now, the total cost for all of that is $90.91 per month. Now, that is, if you paid for all of that stuff, that's $90, and you're like, well, it's still cheaper than my cable, right? But then you didn't factor in the fact that whoever your internet provider is, you're paying your monthly fee for your internet provider, and then depending on your bandwidth that you choose, if you're doing like a gig line or if you're doing a smaller package like the 150 kind of deal in there, all determined. And usually those are the cable companies that are providing your internet service, so you still have that plus their fees to go on there. And if you're not using that, if you're using just your phone, you have your phone plan and your whatever your phone data is going to cost you. So you have if you had all those services, and that's not even all of them, but if you had all those services at $91 roughly, right? Then you're paying your monthly internet service, your phone bill, and everything. You're still paying as much as you would with cable.
Yeah. But I don't think everyone's going to have that many services. No one has that much time to consume that much media.
I do.
That is very true.
I mean, that's the thing, too, because you got to realize if you're signing up for each one of these services, let's say you're going to watch, 1 or 2 shows on each. Like, that's still a lot of television.
Yeah, it is.
Through all those streaming services.
And that's the problem. There's all these amazing shows, and people they're like, oh, this show's so awesome, and somebody else is like, oh, well, I'm watching this show. There's too many shows. There's too many shows to watch on too many different platforms.
That's the problem. Like, if you can consolidate all of them onto one, like how it used to just be with Netflix, it would be great.
It's not a matter of
like that anymore.
Yeah, it's not a matter of too many shows and too many movies to watch. There's too many places to go. You got to really dumb it down for people and make it, point, click, and ready to go. Where you want to watch all this stuff, but then it becomes overwhelming. It's like, yeah, I want to watch it. Oh, I don't want to watch. I want to watch Picard. I really would like to look at that, but I don't want to get CBS Plus. I want to watch this thing, but now that's over on HBO Max. But I have Netflix right now. And I can't really swing all of.
Yeah,
it's just when people see it laid out as there's too many options, people go. It's like
too many cooks.
The joke of it's like the menu at the Cheesecake Factory. But
I love the Cheesecake Factory.
I know it's for the common folk.
It's for trash people. The day that my husband and I got married, we just eloped because, of course, weddings are ridiculous. But that afterwards, he was like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "Can we go to the Cheesecake Factory?" So the day we got married, we went to the Cheesecake Factory after.
That's awesome.
Thank you. They gave us free cheesecake because I was in my wedding dress and stuff.
I will say the Cheesecake Factory does make good cheesecake. If you go there to buy, they're in their little bakery section, just the cheesecake. They used to have two that I loved. One was a white chocolate raspberry swirl cheesecake.
That one's awesome.
And the other one was an orange creamsicle cheesecake.
I didn't have that one.
It tasted, I haven't seen it in years, but it tasted like, remember those Flintstones push-up pops?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it tasted like.
So like sherbet?
Yeah, it was like an orange creamsicle sherbet kind of deal.
Interesting.
I haven't seen it in forever, but when they had those, they were quite delicious. So anyway, yeah, I mean, everyone's going to choose their sides and figure out. The clear winner is going to be Disney Plus because
they have the most stuff.
Well, just that, but also all the kids stuff is there. Every parent's going to have it because they're going to throw it on so that it keeps their kids occupied, especially if they're traveling somewhere. They can download it into their app on their iPad while they're on a plane or they're in the car, something like that. So Disney Plus is already won. You can't even compare them to the rest of this here. It's Netflix's opportunity to lose everything going into this. Take Disney out of the picture. Netflix is the next top tier, and you've got almost a year left until HBO Max comes out, and that includes the Warner Brothers library and other movie libraries that they've absorbed. The Time Warner division of television, which includes Turner Television and a bunch of other things, the Looney Tunes properties and Rick and Morty and Adult Swim, and there's just a lot of stuff that might make HBO Max attractive. The $15 price is not attractive. They may have to adjust that before the launch time. But there at least going to be enough properties, it seems, under HBO Max that's going to make it sort of worth it for some people.
Yeah,
well,
more so than CBS All Access or Starz or Showtime or any of that stuff.
I don't care about any of those. I'm surprised that they're actually still in business.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: I don't care about any of these streaming services. I just hope that the people whose passwords I borrow do care about these, because then I can get them. like I don't care. I won't sign up for any of these subscription services, but if someone gives me a password, yeah, I'll totally use it.
There was a graphic out there that showed the whole breakdown of these streaming services, and said not interested, parents' password, friend's password, cousin's password. Like, it was all listed down there of how everybody's going to be watching these platforms.
Yeah, of course Netflix is going under. It's only being held up by Billy next door. He's the only sucker who's still been paying for all the shows.
Billy watched 18,000 movies last week.
Yeah,
where does he find the time?
Yeah.
So there you have for the streaming stuff as far as the price breakdown here. But I do want to talk about some of the news that came out. There was a lot of streaming news this week. For Netflix, we mentioned the Witcher trailer that's coming out. And
The Witcher.
That comes out now. I was looking. Yeah, that comes out now. So if you're listening to this, it's available, and you're probably already starting to watch it. Also, that's out right now is the final season of Bojack Horseman, which I have not gotten to yet.
Well, the first half of it.
Right. Sorry, you're right. It's the first 5 episodes, I think.
Yeah, and then doing the season finale for it.
Right after New Year's, I think it comes out. It's sometime in January.
Yep.
So, but we're in the final season for BoJack Horseman. If you've not seen this show, you've got 5 seasons to go through there. It's an amazing show. It's not an overly happy show. It's kind of depressing.
It's extremely depressing.
Right. But it's more, it's real. It's very realistic for an animated series. I'll say that.
Yeah, like it took the title from King of the Hill. Because I remember King of the Hill used to be the show where people were like, this is an animated show, but it's not really a kid, like a cartoon, you know?
Yeah.
Like this one's very cartoony, but the subject matter is so dark and depressing all the time.
Yeah, you've got talking animals. I mean, one of the lead characters is Mr. Peanut Butter. And it's under this guise of a hokey, goofy character, but there's some really dark nonsense going on in these relationships and in these people's lives. So that's available. Go check out BoJack Horseman if you haven't. I saw Dolomite Is My Name, which is on Netflix right now. Can't recommend it enough. It was fun.
It had like a Black Dynamite feel when I saw the poster, and I loved Black Dynamite, and I was like, this looks like it's going to be a throwback to that era of like blaxploitation films.
This is the crowning. Dolomite was the crowning jewel of that era.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So Black Dynamite was taking it from this. It was such a fun. It's a biopic. A lot of the stuff when they're shooting the movies in the movie is scene for scene because they show you at the end in the credits. They'll go back and forth to show you how much time and care they took to making this thing. I'm not spoiling anything.
So is it like a make how they made it like movie, like where they're making the Dolomite movie in the movie?
Yeah, it starts off. It's essentially a biopic about Rudy Ray Moore.
Okay,
about where if you don't know, this isn't really spoiling anything, but Rudy Ray Moore, just like Rodney Dangerfield, was a popular underground comedian that became sort of mainstream late in his life. Like he was an older gentleman when fame started to happen for him. And nobody was willing to help him or do any of this stuff, so he had to create everything and he was in essentially the literal definition of a hustler. He was finding every way to get money to make his album, to make it, get it on the radio, to sell it to everybody, to make a movie, to write the movie, to find the budget to shoot the movie. Like it goes through everything here. You give it a couple of minutes, you forget Eddie Murphy is Rudy Ray Moore. You're watching. He's doing such a great job that you just keep forgetting that it's Eddie Murphy playing Rudy Ray Moore. Wesley Snipes is in the movie. He's hilarious in there. He's really good. Keegan-Michael Key is in there. He's good. The gentleman from Unbreakable, Kimmy Schmidt. Who's
I know who you're talking about, but I don't know his name.
Yeah. I apologize, but yeah,
Did I see Tracy Morgan was in there too?
I did not see Tracy Morgan in that movie.
Okay.
No.
I just was looking up pictures and
Snoop Dogg's in the movie.
Nice.
Chris Rock's in the movie. It really was well. You were expecting it to be kind of hokey. Oh, Craig Robinson's in there too. Is in the movie.
Oh, nice. He's great.
Nice.
And you're watching the whole thing, and you're like, you forget about all these people in real life, except for Chris Rock's role, where he's a radio DJ in there. I won't give anything else away with that, but it's just like, oh, Chris Rock is in here. He's the only one that doesn't translate as to forgetting he's a character, but everybody else in there, you're watching the whole thing, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of heart behind the movie, and I don't use that term, often, but you're watching things like they're not making fun. They're not, talking down or changing history about what this guy went through and everybody went through. You watch the whole thing, and you're like, this is pretty cool. And at the end of the movie, you're seeing the shot for shot comparisons during the credits, and you sit back and look at it. It's like, I had a really good time watching this. It was very enjoyable. So I can't recommend it enough. Dolomite Is My Name. It's out now on Netflix. Go and watch that immediately.
All right.
Irishman is still coming. It seems like this thing's been teased for over a year.
I just saw the trailer for it yesterday because the trailer played at the theater.
Well, that's because it's opening in movie theaters on Friday. Select movie theaters, just so it can be, an Oscar contender. But it comes out on Netflix on November 27th, so around Thanksgiving time.
I mean, it looks good, but it's like, I hate to feel like I'm bashing like Martin Scorsese in any way,
right?
But like I think it's kind of funny that like him and like Francis Ford Coppola would knock on Marvel movies, but he's making the same fucking mobster movie every single time. It's like, dude, come on, man, you make the same mobster movie every time.
Well, yeah,
like,
we also said the same thing on Marvel Movie News, where I don't mind if you don't like Marvel movies. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
You don't have to like everything, but you're right. The way they were knocking on it, and it was someone brought up the point on the show that back in when they first started making movies, that wasn't considered cinema. It was considered like crappy, gratuitous violence, and people didn't think that was. So it's just interesting that now they've become sort of what they started with. They've turned into they're kids these days.
It's the old saying of you fought to get you're a foot in the door, then you get in the door and you turn around and you try to close the door on the guy behind you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's just funny.
But I mean, it looks good, but it's like, how many times have I seen this movie? Like, I don't know, from the ICU, the Italian Cinematic Universe.
That'd be fun if you did the ICU.
Yes, the ICU. It's all Scorsese's movies. Welcome to the ICU. Forget about it.
Oh,
it's the ICU. Oh, no, not O. ICU -OH.
Other streaming news. Some news came out for HBO Max involving new properties they just obtained. They now have the exclusive streaming rights to Rick and Morty and South Park. Now, Rick and Morty isn't fully exclusive to HBO Max, as it will continue to stream all of its previous and future episodes on Hulu, because they have a Hulu deal. Also, they do stream some episodes, I think, on the Adult Swim website as well.
They usually do.
You can check there. I think they usually do that. All 3 seasons of the sci-fi animated series will be available on HBO Max when it launches in May 2020, with future seasons expected to continue airing on Adult Swim before going on HBO Max and Hulu. Now, for South Park, they got the exclusive streaming rights. So they gained the exclusive streaming rights to the sitcom's whole entire library and the movie. Get this. For $500 million.
For South Park?
For South Park.
That's like almost $1 million an episode, right? Or something. That's ridiculous.
So they got the library for $500 million for a $500 million deal, winning a bidding war against other popular streaming services. All 23 seasons will be available for streaming on June 2020, with each new episode set to debut 24 hours after it premieres on Comedy Central. So that means it'll air on Wednesday night, and then by Thursday night at 10 p.m., you can watch it on HBO Max if you didn't catch it on television. South Park will no longer be available on Hulu by next summer. So they're being pulled from there and only on HBO. But $500 million seems to be a weird continuing figure that's popping up, because that's the same deal they made for Seinfeld when they were losing or they were having the rights pulled from Friends and The Office off of Netflix. They threw $500 million down for Seinfeld for 5 years, so it's $100 million a year for 5 years.
That's crazy too.
It is. Now, I was thinking. So I'm reading this thing today, and I'm thinking about it. I go, geez, look where Seinfeld started and look where South Park started, right? Seinfeld started as a rough idea between Larry David and Seinfeld based on their comedy and what have you. That first season didn't do well. Like, they were in danger of being canceled. That was the story of Cheers and a few other very famous sitcoms. That first year, they didn't do well. But back then, they let you breathe and said, let's try another season, see where it goes. So it was the Seinfeld Chronicles. Then they re-imaged it a little bit just to be about Seinfeld. And then he said, well, go nuts and you can see what you can do. Season 2 started doing okay. By the time Cheers left, and then Seinfeld, because Cheers was on at 9 o'clock on Thursday nights, was the anchor of Must See TV. Seinfeld was on at 9:30. Cheers leaves, Seinfeld becomes the anchor, and Seinfeld really blows up, right? Becomes super huge. The finale, when they were, 1999, I think, is when the show went off the air. The lead up to that finale was a big media circus. Then the syndication rights jumped from, what it was to massive amount of money coming in for this show. Now you go 20 years later, almost 20 years later, and you're reselling that same show that you did for $500 million, was worth way more than than the syndication was bringing in for all those seasons. All those seasons just made you $500 million.
It's insane.
Right?
It's so much money.
It's kind of like artists who are, whenever they're alive, no one wants to buy their art. They can't sell anything.
Yep.
They're poor. And then as soon as they die, their art's worth billions of dollars in museums. It's crazy.
Now, South Park, for those who don't know, South Park started as Matt and Trey doing this kind of video Christmas card for Universal. They were paid a modest fee to come up with this little animated thing. And it was something, I guess, the head of Universal at the time was just sending to other, people that worked in the company, this little goofball VHS tape. And that circulated underground and started spreading out everywhere. And everyone's like, what is this South Park thing? And I don't know if it was Spirit of Christmas was the first one or the one where it was...
I thought it was Spirit of Christmas.
Because that was Jesus versus Santa, but there was another one where it was like Santa versus Frosty the Snowman or something. But anyway, so we'll just say Spirit of Christmas, right? That's the one that started getting all this attention. And that was pretty much the example of what they could do, I guess, because Comedy Central got a copy of it and said, we need to make this into a show. And I don't think they were really planning to make a show, at least with this, but that's what that got them in the door. That's what they did. And if you watch those first few seasons of South Park, they're rough, and they're nothing like what it is now, right?
Oh, that show has evolved so much. Like
those earlier seasons are nothing like what it is now.
It doesn't even look like what it looked like.
Because remember, there was a lot of jokes with Chef. There was a lot of jokes of aliens and cows in the background that
anal probe,
all this weird jokes. Stuff, the cheesy poof stuff. It was just all little buzzwords and catchphrases with this cardboard cutout kind of animation stuff, and then obviously it became what it did. But look at that! Look where that came from. You're thinking about that stuff almost 25 years ago when they did this.
Gosh,
made all this money off the merchandise by the second or third season of South Park. Then had another renaissance again when they switched over to becoming more topic-based, where the whole 6 days of South Park thing came to be, where they would just release the episode the day of, trying to get as much stuff in there and then to prevent the network from cutting their stuff out. And then the animation, when they got the computer software and were doing all this stuff, and to what it is now, made all this money. And now you're going to double down again with their entire library. $500 million to sell your stuff again to a streaming service.
And that's after China was like, screw you. We're not going to play South Park in China anymore at all.
And there's only 301 episodes. That's over $1 million an episode.
Oh, my God.
That's like almost $2 million an episode. Like, that's kind of crazy to think about.
Jeez, that's so much money.
So that's the latest news for HBO Max. Apple TV is coming out very soon. And the only shows that I've seen being advertised is The Morning Show with Jennifer Aniston, Steve Carell, and Reese Witherspoon, which just looks like they're doing Good Morning America as a television show.
Looks like they're doing they're trying to do like the network or something like that, based on the poster. Like they're trying to do something serious.
They're not doing much to kind of catch my interest on that at all. Like as much as I love Jennifer Aniston and Friends, I don't know if that's going to translate to me wanting to watch this show.
Yeah, I don't know. Like they did it with Newsroom. I think it was HBO.
Yeah,
not too long ago, and that started off really good, and then it only lasted 3 seasons.
Two or three seasons.
Yeah, and then they killed it right off. The other show that's on there that's interesting, I'm not paying for it, but it's interesting, is a new interpretation of, it's called Dickinson. It's about Emily Dickinson, her stories or whatever, but it's got this weird, it's like an it's almost steampunky, like it's based back in those times, but it's got a modern feel to how they're doing it.
Huh.
It looked interesting, but that's as far as I'm going with it unless it shows up somewhere else where I can watch it for free. Nothing for Amazon right now, and then we did Disney Plus with Bill Burr and the Mandalorian. I think that's it for television real quick. Rick and Morty Season 4 comes out this month. And then for any of you comic book fans that are still watching the CW stuff, they're doing yet another spinoff in the Arrowverse where they're taking... we had... I can never get it. Tyler Hoechlin? We had him on the show years ago. He's Superman in the Supergirl show universe, right?
Yes.
They're doing Crisis on Infinite Earths. This is coming up soon, where it's where they can mix all the universes together, and they're bringing back every Superman that's still alive into this miniseries that's coming out there. So you got Tom Wells from is it not his name's not Tom Wells. What's his name from Smallville?
I think that is his name,
No
isn't
idea.
it? No?
All right, well, whatever. The guy from Smallville, he's in there. All the other interpretations. And Dean Cain's going to be back in it. Like all of these all these old Superman stuff is all going to be mixed into the Crisis on Infinite Earths. So Tyler Hoechlin and Elizabeth Tulloch are going to be reprising their roles as Superman and Lois in a new spin-off. I'm tired of Lois Lane. I never thought Lois Lane was a good character. Lois Lane was always annoying no matter what incarnation of Superman you watch, and just was detrimental to moving a story along. And now they're bringing it back again. They have not learned that no one cares about Superman. In that Crisis situation where there's multiple Supermen, yes, because it makes it interesting. But outside of that, no one cares about Superman. Stop caring about Superman.
And especially people start to get suspicious when there's like 15 Clark Kents. It's like, huh?
Or they're all dead, but there's 19 Supermen. Where did Clark go?
What is happening? Where's Clark?
And then what if they don't know to go back to their right universe? So they go back there and it's like, oh, I'm Clark Kent. And it's like, no, you're not. Dude, you're on the wrong Earth.
Yeah, you're Mark Spent.
Mark Spent.
Other TV things. And Gittles loves the horror stuff. Shudder just announced that they picked up Creepshow, the reboot of Creepshow, or the new version of Creepshow for season 2.
Yeah, watch the first episode.
Yeah, they just picked it up for season 2. So
interesting. I didn't think the first episode was that great, but I haven't watched some of the other ones yet.
HBO has announced that the prequel that they were about to start working on for Game of Thrones got completely canceled.
Womp womp.
That's done, and they're now starting a different prequel for Game of Thrones. So the new prequel is now called House of Dragon, which is going to focus on the Targaryen family.
Do you think they did that because everyone was so upset with Daenerys Targaryen being killed in the last season that they're like, or the last episode that they were like, hey, let's just focus on House Targaryen this time?
I think they're trying to fix the fact that no one liked the last season and they don't know which prequel will win everyone's trust back. Because if they put out one bad prequel now with everything they're scheduled for, then people will be like, Game of Thrones is just shit, moving on. You know what I mean? Like, they have to really come out strong with whatever they're doing based on how the last season ended. At least that's my interpretation.
I'm so curious what it's going to be like 300 years before this. Are they going to be living in caves? Is that what's happening?
I'm not going to watch it.
I probably will.
Who knows? They had all that flying dragons and like stellar naval technology, and didn't know that there was a world outside of the island that they were on.
Yeah,
you know?
Like, who knows?
I guess. I don't know.
Maybe the sequel after that will be Space Dragons.
See, I'd watch Space Dragons.
They figured out how to launch somebody with a really powerful catapult into space. And they wonder why the dragons don't come back. Yeah, they just keep launching dragons into space. They die when they hit the upper atmosphere, and then they float around the world.
And that's the whole show, is just floating dead dragons around the earth. I'm in. Let's do it.
All right. I think that's enough information for you for 1 week, people. Let's get out of here. Gittles, let's do the plugs. What do you have?
I have a regular plug. I have an international plug. And then I have one of these weird plugs for a refrigerator. Like, I don't know what kind of outlet I need for it.
Awesome. Zia, what do you have? No, go. What do you have? What do you have, Brian?
Gittles based on the Twitter, Instagram, and Xbox Live.
All right. Zia?
I was going to say, I have way less plugs than that. That's a lot of plugs.
She has a plug with a diamond on it. I don't know where it goes, but...
Whoa, hey. Twitter and Instagram at Z_Len. That's spelled XIA. A butt plug. Oh, yeah. That's a thing. That is a thing.
Continue.
Do you ever see the ones that have the tails on it? The butt plugs that you put in?
Yes, they're weird. I've seen that those show up on Instagram sometimes when they're walking around. Look at my foxtail. Like, ew, I know where that is.
There was someone who was walking down the street the other day with a foxtail out, and it wasn't like a Halloween costume, and I don't think it was a butt plug, but they had a foxtail.
Interesting.
Yeah, you went over and asked the guy, like, why do you have the tail? And he goes, I'm a Mog, half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend. You're like, okay.
That makes me barf.
And that's when you slowly take 2 steps back, disappear into the crowd. Check out Marvel News Daily also. What was that?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I was going to say, check out Marvel News Daily as well on the Popcorn Talk, where myself and my friend Christian Blatt bring you Marvel news every day and Marvel movie news on Thursdays at 1 p.m.
Is this the co-host that is annoying?
No,
Okay.
we're actual friends. There's another one.
Okay. Would you tell me honestly if that was who it was?
It's you, Eric.
It's so the actual co-host was, yes, I would. And the other guy that I do the show with, who's the annoying co-host,
Is it me?
is never going to listen to this. So I wouldn't feel bad bringing it up. But no, Christian and I are friends outside of the show.
Gittles, I think she's talking to you.
It's Elisa S. No, that's too obvious. Let's just go with L. Simpson.
Okay, for me, it's E-Rock Radio across the board on the social media, but more importantly, the show. It's Erik Nagel across the board on the social media. Like us and subscribe to us all on there. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. These are all ways that help out the show. And we'd be eternally grateful if you would do so. 651-SMITHERS is the phone line if you want to leave a message to be used on future shows. That's 651-764-8437. And with that being said, we need to get out of here. So until next time, everybody.
Be excellent to each other.
And have a wonderful time.
And happy Halloween.
Very nice. All right. Ooh.
It's Erik Nagel.
We can't afford Imagine, so just imagine this is Imagine. Imagine, imagine, no religion, nothing matters, everything is bad.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Erik Nagel on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For ways to listen to the show, go to itseriknagel.com. And remember to tell two friends so they can tell two friends.
And they can tell two friends. And they can tell two friends. And those two friends can tell two friends.